Running a successful fleet isn't just about staying compliant. It's about staying ahead with fewer risks and smarter tools. You already know BestPass, DriveWise, and Fleetworthy solutions. Now, they're united as Fleetworthy, a complete suite that's designed to simplify operations and keep you on the road. From proactive safety and compliance to the best coverage for toll management and weigh station bypass in the industry, Fleetworthy helps your fleet stay prepared and road ready. Built from the technology you trust, unified to be worthy of the road ahead.
First of all, I see Roadrunner as a category of one. When you look at category leaders or, the kings of categories, you see them really performing well because they do have this differentiation.
Welcome to CCJ's Innovators. I'm CCJ editor Jason Cannon. In this series, we profile carriers and fleets that have found innovative ways to overcome trucking's challenges. This month, we profile Roadrunner, whose unique deployment of artificial intelligence has almost eliminated missed pickups. Go ahead and subscribe, and now let's find out what makes Roadrunner this month's innovator. All right, well, I want to start and just kind of jump into the AI platform because I was reading through the release, and the first question that kind of jumps out at me was that 30% figure, the 30% missed pickups. What qualifies as a miss? I mean, it's not. I guess it's not like you guys didn't show up to get it, but was it late? I mean, what do you guys consider a missed pickup?
The very important thing to understand, Roadrunner, we built something what we call customer point of view. So they were actually missed. However, back in the day, nobody would even see them like that because people were hiding behind different excuses that would be coded under different criteria, that a customer was close or something, and nobody would ever go and verify that information. So what we have done, and we have this kind of a zero policy of excuses, very data focused, very data driven, and we kind of let's understand where the issue is, because when we understand when the issue is, we know what to fix. So we actually remove from our evaluation of a missed pickups any codes, any reasons, unless our system can verify that this is really a customer requesting or customer sending us the wrong information and so on. So sometimes what might happen is that customer will send you today a pickup for yesterday. So, that would theoretically automatically appear as a missed pickup. Our system would go and make sure that this becomes available today. It's kind of automatically overwritten, and that's going to be tracked. But it is really kind of a raw metric. So we brought that mindset of let's don't look for excuses. Let's just look in the very binary fashion on everything that touches our customers, from a service, from a missed pickup perspective, and from anywhere that we have that interaction between us and the customer. And we even added an audit group that if we see something that the customer says that they change it, we'll go and verify that they actually did request that to our operation. So we have kind of a multiple checks and balances in place. So that change really was driven by completely new processes, very binary way of looking at the data, very strong data governance and data mindsets that we kind of built in we have this motto in data we trust at Roadrunner. So we remove all the storytelling, all the excuses, all the reasons. We put all those things aside and we just look at it in the very empirical fashion. The biggest change we've made and that massive drop that, where we are today and where we were is mostly driven by processes, change of people, and technology. The AI that we introduce now, which is fairly new for us in that area of the business, in pickup and delivery, this is really what we aiming to get to the point that we don't have a single missed pickup. We really want to get to the point of how we do it. And it's not an easy problem to solve because there's always things happen. The trucks can break, customers might close early, and all that information, you need to be really smart. That's why I want to have the technology that kind of enables us and help us completely eliminate the missed pickups, because that's the first, when we look at Roadrunner, is the first point of our interaction with a customer. When you think about LTL, that's a pickup. It's the first time I interact with a customer when we do business. So we want to make sure that that interaction is as frictionless as possible.
So the technology component and the AI piece, what does that do? How does that sort of complement this conversion from 30% to our progress to 0%?
So the technology is going to enable us and give us a level of visibility that we did not have before. So we had some of the tools and it helped us, to go to we under 0.5%, but to get really to zero, you really need to have a better tech. So what this is going to do is, let's say I get a pickup, and I give you that example that some truck broke. System automatically will reorganize all my trucks in the networks, all the routes in the network, to maximize the chances, because it's almost like, you're playing the game and you think you're covering with 12 players. Suddenly I have 11. Well, how do I still cover everything with 11 players? And how do I do it dynamically in real time? If I were to use my technology before we introduced this machine learning platform, the dispatcher will have to go and, manually reorganize 11 different pickup routes. And that's going to take you probably within half an hour to an hour. Considering that you also need to manage other things, that probably can be even more. Right now, it's just you press the button and within a few seconds, that problem is solved for you. So when you think about it, is the speed of change and agility of you reacting to any unforeseen circumstances, you change it from like minute or hours to seconds. And that's a big difference because, most of the guys going to close their dock at 4 or 5 p.m. anyway. So you don't have unlimited time. So you are operating in the time constraint scenario, and you're trying to resolve it with limited resources. So that level of optimization that, can look at the traffic, can look at the routes, can very quickly reorganize everything at once. And also take into consideration things that, we're going to have, that you have certain appointments. So that freight needs to be packed up here or delivered there, that you have a certain operating hours, that certain customers, maybe they open till 7, but others, they might be closing at 3:30. All that information is something that, my best dispatchers are not able to kind of, when those kind of random scenarios happen, solve it. We are very proud to be owner-operator company. So we love giving business to other people that, as independent contractors, they run their businesses. We don't have our drivers and our employees. Those are the business guys. So we are very proud that we're giving them the tool that they can make more money in less time driving less. And that's where that technology comes in, because P&D is what is known as the traveling salesman problem. It's a very, very, very known problem that, there's an algorithm that's just designed for it, and it falls within machine learning, to be specific, operational research domain, that kind of address that kind of optimization.
Just so we've got an example, if we can kind of walk our way through an example here, that, you had mentioned that when something sort of happens on the pickup side, the AI and the platform kind of sort of dynamically can adjust to the other affected parties. So let's say I'm supposed to pick up a load at 4 o'clock. I'm on time, but I get there and the facility's closed. What happens next?
Well, if I get there and facility is closed, like it's that in that scenario, there's no fix. What that platform will enable to you is that, let's say I'm getting that pickup at 3:15, and in the old universe, okay, we would add that pickup to the guy that, like, oh, that guy is in that area. We're going to add him the pickup. So when he does all his pickups, he's going to go, and let's say on the way back, he's going to go out and pick it up. And then he goes, and it's exactly a scenario described. It's 4 p.m. And it's like, oopsie, it's too late. That algorithm, because it knows what time that we close certain customers, because we collect that information when we kind of onboard customer, we ask them what's your operating hours and etc. Now I'm getting this thing at 3:15. The system is not like, oh yeah, let's put it at the end. It's going to find, okay, which driver is either on the way back to the terminal or is still in the region that is the most likely to go and pick it up and not sacrifice the other pickup. It's more about prevention. If the issue occurred. Like, we won't be able to fix it. It's not going to start calling and figuring out. If the dock is closed, the dock is closed. But it is proactive enough that as long as we receive that information within the feasibility that we can pick it up, the system has that smart that can go and re-optimize the routes for who is the best driver for us to go there.
You know, trucking's in a weird spot right now that it's not all that great. LTL's a little insulated from that just by nature of the business, but it's not fantastic on the LTL side by any measure of the imagination. So, you know, how does the company look different now than maybe it did a year and a half ago? And what are your goals going into 26?
So we want to be in more places to more customers across the US. That transformation will be only possible with the intersection of this kind of, creator brand, this explorer brand, and really building it on the foundation of our people. So if you look at that intersection, it's basically innovation that meets trust for the customers. And we are going to really be always at the forefront of technology. So then it becomes like we are not a transportation company that you kind of like clearly see, okay, these guys are LTL transportation. We're a tech-forward LTL company, which means that we can skip some steps in terms of, if you compare with other competitors, they might have had certain technologies, but they're delayed because we have this fast-forward ability. We're really entrepreneurial driven. So what we want is the success for the customers so that we can be successful. So we don't do just based on, okay, let's bring a tech gimmicky thing that is going to be seen as, very flashy in the eyes of the public. There's an ROI that is super important. There's also a need from the customer. One last thing I would say is that technology can only be a good thing for a company when it is part of a process that exists. So we've done that work of really making sure that our operators and everyone around the company understand what they have to do. And then technology can become very successful.
That's it for this installment of CCJ Innovators. Check out ccjdigital.com for more trucking content from all of our editors. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll never miss a post from CCJ.